the depression and the anxiety that people are feeling, I don't think it gets addressed enough. That area gets addressed enough, and I think that's where they're then manipulated the game.
Yeah, it's because, you know, for me, the depression kicked in, you know, when you become totally disillusioned, you know, you're going, you know, as I said to you earlier, you know, when I get that flat at time, you actually think about it, that's when the depression and everything started kicking in, because you're working through things and you realise your illusions and your delusions.
Yeah.
You know, you start to really go, what's happening? And for me, you know, that depression and that crash is probably in everybody, because at the end of the day, we're living a fake life. Yeah. We're living a lie. Yeah. You know, and it's all a contrivance that's not really natural. You know, I've said to people before, when you were a kid, and I look at my kids, their natural instinct is just to keep exploring, to keep progressing, to keep moving forward, and then you're stumped with that. You know, you go to school and there's this structure placed into you, and your youth and energy kind of takes you through it for so long. Yeah. But then when you get to an adult, you're going, this, you know, I'm not the rewards that I was promised on the here. Yeah. You know, what's happening? Yeah. So for me, there is only, you know, some people are lucky. They'll find something that they enjoy. They'll have success out of it. You know, their life's easy. They've never had to question any of these things, and that's fine. Yeah. You know, but unfortunately, that structure's not there for everybody. Yeah. So for the majority of people, as I say, you know, that depression and that thing is like a normal reaction to an abnormal situation, and the abnormal situation is the fucking world that we're living in. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Do you know what What I like in that too? What you just said is when we are children and we go on holiday, or even as adults, but more so as children, I remember it. You go on holiday, you come back to reality, and you get that feeling of disappointment, and you've lost something, and that. Because on holiday you had the freedom, you had the adventure, everything you just spoke about. And I think that's what happens to us in adult life, is we know there's an adventure, we know there's something, but we've been made to stay in this control system. And that, I think, is the symptoms that we're feeling. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Because we're not exploring.
No.
Yeah. You get to a point where you can analyse things, and I was start to analyse and go, right, even if I get that career or that wee bit of success and I get a bigger house and I can go on holiday and I can go, well, what really changes? Nothing. You know, it's just like more extravagant distractions. Yeah. You know, there's nothing. That's why I keep feeling like, you know, as you say, this whole thing about going to school, when you come back from holiday, you know it, you're going, this is not right.
That's it. That's when it starts kicking in.
When I was a kid and we went to East Germany, it was so relaxed. You know, I was wandering for miles, swimming in lakes from the age of 5 to, and you come back here and it's like, oh, what is this? It's like a chore. So that says for me, you know, the whole thing's to keep you still, to stop that exploration. Yeah. So that's why I keep saying to people, there has to be something else out there.
Yeah.
That natural instinct to want to keep exploring. The real adventure's probably undiscovered. The real adventure for me isn't within the pen that they've created.
Absolutely.
I'm totally disillusioned with that whole thing now. It's like, that's the whole problem. You know, the foundation should be there. You know, if we have to live here, you know, in societies and in these groups, you don't need to spend a whole lot of time logically thinking about it and go, right, we're beings, we're almost like animals, so let's sort out the fundamentals. Okay, where are we? Right, blah, right, what do we need? Right, we need the survival skill, we need the basics. You know, your education should be, how do you build a home? How do you sanitize? How do you grow your crops? You know, how do you waterproof? Real skills. You know, if that was the education system, the place would be thriving.
Absolutely.
You know, and it's not an education system. It's like, this is just the way it is. This is reality. Yeah. You know, and teaching you right away reality. Yeah. No fucking wee bit parts of information scattering your mind left, right, centre. You know, I've said that to people before. You know, you talk about your education system. If the plug was pulled on the deliveries of the trucks and people maintaining your home and blah blah blah, what are you going to do? Fucking nothing, because you need skills. You've not got the fundamentals. Yeah. So if we had that fundamental level, you know, then people aren't running about because let's be honest, I mean, most people are held by their bills.
Yeah.
Their electricity bill, their gas bill, their council tax, these are the chains that are binding them to that.
Yeah.
But if you don't depend on these kind of things, that's it, it's game over. So talking about like the homeless people, especially for me, I've spoken to you about this before, and I became disillusioned as an apprentice mechanic, and all my effort, my artistic endeavour was just getting used, and I was getting a pittance back where I was still hungry. I had nowhere to stay. I was living in a car park. I was living in the garage. And you're going, what is this about? And I became disillusioned very quickly.
Yeah.
When you start to ask, you look at other people and you go, is that what's happening with them? And because I value my time a lot more than having to fucking waste it working a dead-end job my whole life.
Yeah.
Where's the room for creativity?
No.
Where's the support structure? Where's the basic foundations that we're requiring?
Yeah.
It's that part of the whole globe thing. That tying people into this concrete, this is what life is, this is what it means, you live on a globe, your life's mapped out, there's nothing for you to discover. Yeah. You're trapped, and I hated that feeling.
Yeah.
But once I realised the lie of the globe, it was like the biggest relief ever.
Sure.
Now everything makes sense,
Yeah.
And to that point where all these things we're talking about, I just see them as total distractions because there's something else to be discovered. I state that there's something there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think when you get to the level of consciousness where you've arrived at, and other people have arrived at, and you can see that more clearly. But what you've just said there is dead interesting, because I felt the same. When the flat earth and the globe light came along, it actually made me feel better.
Yeah.
Something clicked inside. First few days, my eyes were popped open and I couldn't sleep for 3 nights thinking, whoa. But it soon just bedded in and became okay. And it sat really nice with me.
Aye. Yeah.
Not in my mind, just in my whole resonance. It sat really, it's really centered me.
Yeah, yeah. That's it. I went through all these different avenues of thought, philosophies, and going, but none of it makes sense. We're on this fucking ball spinning about in space, and why do we not have any knowledge yet? And I started going down the avenues of it must just be a big accident.
Yeah.
My life, it must just all be a strange occurrence, and because I could never connect any of the dots to have any real foundation. And then once I realised, the foundation,
the ha-ha moment,
has been false from the start.
Yeah.
So that's why none of it could piece together.
Yeah.
Now that I know for a fact that I'm in a designed realm, creation, whatever it is, and whosoever it is, opens everything up. That restriction limit of everything's been discovered, there's nowhere to go, it's all millions and millions of miles away.
Yeah.
It's like, I felt grounded for the first time in my whole life.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Although I don't know where I am,
Yeah.
I know that's a lie.
Yeah. There's a sense of relief.
Aye.
That's what I found, a sense of relief.
Of course, mate. Of course.
Totally.
Because it's something I always felt as if there was more to me, there was more to this place. Spiritual type ideas, even from a kid, and I keep using that language of logic, reason, natural science, because at the end of the day, for me and you, right, there's an objective reality happening, right? So in order for me and you to progress with each other and understand, we have to use the objective language without our subjectivity.
Yeah.
So that language works in its reality. We progress.
There's no ego attached to that. There's no competitiveness. There's no one-upmanship. There's no.
I want to know where I am. Right. So how do we? Right. We need logic. We need reason. We need the natural science, because we need to, discover the world we're in. So I've always used that, and I've used it right from the start. And I've always pointed out the manipulations when people go into a low level of emotional manipulation. So, and for me, it's like a huge thing, our very foundation has been robbed of us, whether it's deliberate or it's just one of these things that's escalated and it's got to this point, that's a whole other discussion. But it's so profound and so meaningful that when you highlight, like what I was highlighting, guys like Jed and other medias who try and paint things in a certain light, You know, and you try and point that out and go, well, look, these people, like I done with the Joe Rogan guy, you know, people never had a problem. You know, there wasn't any fence sitters there. You know, people would accept that I've logically went through it, you know, and combated everything that he's come up with.
Correct.
But when it comes to certain other characters, people don't like it.
Why do you think that is? Why do you think that is?
I don't know. Either they've got an emotional attachment to that person, or the people are working together for some common agenda, some common purpose. Because at the end of the day, there is a right, and there is a wrong. There's facts of situations that we can work out, and it only happens when people understand the language and people take responsibility. You know, if I put something out there that's logically flawed, and you come along and you address it, I'm a realist, I'm a truth seeker, and I'm going to look at it and go, all right, well, I do see that. You've articulated it to me, and I understand it, and I see it. My bad. I can move on.
If I express it in a logical way.
Right, so even if you do express it in a logical way, right, yeah, I've got two choices. I can be egoless and use the language and understand it and progress, or my ego can kick in.
Sure.
And I can just come back and go, look at you, look at the state of you, your hat and your sunglasses. Show me your tattoo. You're a fucking Satanist and Masonic. So what I'm doing is I'm diverting it. Yeah. And I'm trying to draw people's win and score points, you know, by playing people emotionally, rather than just understanding the objective reality of what's actually happening in order for progression. And if I don't do that and I keep it going, me and you could end up at war.
Yeah, sure.
Because one party's not taking responsibility for themselves.
Absolutely.
Right? That's part of the problems we experience in everyday life.
Absolutely, 100%.
People are egotistical and attached to their subjective experience, that they just throw it at each other and defend and attack and defend and attack, and they keep each other in this spiral of total confusion. Yeah. And it doesn't have to be there. You know, who you are as in your subjective experience and your personal life has got fuck all to do with the objective reality. You know. So I'm not judging you or trying to battle with you or anything like that. I'm identifying people who want the truth, that realise the importance and the significance of it, and want that truth. So fence sitters, when they allow this language and these manipulative people to keep coming in and causing discourse, you know, it's a no-no. You know, and the Jed guy highlighting it, you know, I've said it to you. You go and look at his content, every single video was flat earthers drink pish, flat earthers hit a new low, flat earth new agers, blah, blah, blah. You know, and all that stuff was already existing. So why does it have to have flat earth in the title? And what good is it? If somebody wants to drink pish, you know.
I tried to I'm sorry to cut across you, mate. I tried to highlight that in the video. I didn't do it too well with the vlog. You know, it was my first one, but I did try to highlight the fact that, you know, if you're noticing these derogatory terms with flat earther, what I was trying to say was, listen, all this shit goes on the ball, and there's millions of people who practice these things, but you don't see videos globe earther drinking piss, crazy, or you don't see videos globe earther whatever. So it's nonsense, and it needs to stop because it's got no legs.
Yeah, that's it. You know, and the language thing and the fence sitting, you know, I addressed that because that's what's actually going on. And what did I get back? I got an emotional attack, trying to ridicule, trying to, you know, trying to get personal. Yeah. And then you've got these fence sitters who support that. Yeah. Straight away I'm going, well, you know, either they're playing a game or they're just not progressed enough to understand, you know. And then they're trying to tie me in, and it's like, oh, well, Dale's just got this opinion and he's got that opinion. Well, no, it's not my opinion. You're not understanding the objective language, you know. It's not my opinion. If I break it.
Yeah, see what sorry again, but what I have to say this, what's impressed me with you and your work is the fact that I didn't even know your beliefs for months and months and months and months and months and months watching your work, and your work was on the nail. It kind of didn't change, and I'll be honest with you, for me it got to the point where I'm thinking, saying the same thing, and I went through a stage where it was like, am I bored with that? I'm being honest, am I bored with the same thing? But then when I've sat back and I've gone, hang on, this is one of the only people who's saying the same thing constantly, and not changing. So I went back to your work and then kind of started following your work.
Yeah.
It then started making more sense when I got past the barrier of, he's saying the same thing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the business of your beliefs, it matters not to me what you believe, it matters how you behave towards me.
That's it. That's it.
That's the only way.
And again, you know, language is a very powerful thing. Like you're saying, beliefs. Personally, I don't have any beliefs.
Exactly.
You know, and I'm saying the same thing over and over again because it's the truth, right? But people, you know, you say people want entertainment, they want to hear something titivating and something new and blah, blah. And you go, well, no, listen, understand what the language that I'm saying. If you get that and we get everybody to that, there's a whole new, we don't even know what's out there to be explored. If you want entertainment and you want something new and stimulating, there could be other worlds. There could be anything out there.
And please, people, think about your holidays when you were children, because this is the feeling that you've lost.
Yeah.
Being on holiday, the adventure, the new place, the exploring, coming back being, oh my God, it's bored. That's escalated in your life to adulthood and you've lost that adventure. And I think, am I correct in saying that's what you're talking about here?
Exactly, mate.
Yeah.
Exactly. You know,
yeah.
We need to get to a point of maturity where, you know, subjective experiences shouldn't be bothering us unless somebody's subjective experience is directly imposing on your free will. And I've spoken about all that, then there should be no issue.
Yeah.
What we need to get is to understand this objective language that we can use that can help us as a whole to progress.
Yeah.
You know, and if everything was based on that objective language, we would progress in all aspects of our life.
Yeah, for sure.
Basing everything on empirical proof.
Yeah.
You know, politics, any of these things that are in the public, you know, that's for everybody, should be based purely on that language, nothing else.
Yeah.
You know? And there seems to be a huge effort to stop that from happening. Yeah. You hear that saying all the time. That, you know, the biggest threat to any government or controlling party is a free-thinking, well informed populace. Yeah. Do people think that means that good information or a good story or a good imagination? No. What that means is if you've got a populace who understands the language that I've been constantly trying to put out there, they're fucked, you know? Because if you think logically and you're trained to think logically and critically and not to hold beliefs and all these crazy things, you coming and trying to tell me a lie is just not going to work. Because I understand the language in order to strip you for your lie and expose it. Yeah. Do you understand?
Oh, for sure, 100%. Yeah.
Some people don't.
I think to arrive at the point where it's the objective language, you must be free from certainly ego and beliefs and be prepared to let them defense mechanisms go that you've held people hold on to and protect. You have to let that go to have the objective discussion.
Yeah, and he progressed. You know, a cracking point of that was the whole Satanism thing. Now, I spoke about that, you know, again, I'll reiterate it, I'm spiritual, you know, I know we're in a realm, there's something more, you know, I don't believe in Satan and God and these things, but, you know, and I meant it when I said, you know, and part of my progression was, you know, hearing these things, God, Satan, Satanism, you know, and it was like, oh, that's scary for a point of ignorance. It's just a word that you've built up associations with and that you've told. So then I went, you know what, I'm going to be brave. I was a man, you know, and I'm fucking scared of a book. Yeah. You know, I went to Waterstones or whatever it is and I asked them to get me a copy in, and I remember the look, you know, this guy wants a fucking Satan book, you know. And I read the fucking thing, and again, it was like relief. It was like the weight of the world was lifting. I'm going, fucking hell, I always had this idea of these people being murdering, devil worshipping, sacrificing. And I'm going, it's actually a book of common sense. You know, I'm reading it and going, I can identify with that. You know, and then I realised that, you know, that part of that control mechanism was to keep you away from information that would build you to a point of critical thought. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Because the more I done that, you know, that fear went. You know, because I go, right, where are they telling me not to go? Where am I being told not to look?
Yeah.
Go and look, and you find that there's something useful there.
Yeah, that's right.
So you start to cotton on to the game.
Yeah.
You know, but too many people have this emotional reaction based on the programming. They hear these words and they just build associations, and it just all goes to fuck.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You know, because again,
it's a powerful statement that I was a man and I was scared of a book. It's a very powerful statement. That.
But that's how ideas implanted in your mind play on you. Do you know what I mean?
I've never looked at it that way, but when someone makes that statement, I was a man and I was scared of a book, I find that very, very profound statement. Just that statement. There's a lot in that.
So it's the truth, mate. You know that. You know, I go to that point as well where I had to. The first port of call for me when I hit that rock bottom in my learning was the only way I'm going to get through this is by being totally honest with myself. Which means no shying away from things that are scaring me or frightening me. I need to ask why. Yeah. Why is it scaring me? Why? And that's how you push on and you learn. You know, it didn't mean because I read that book and I'm talking about it and defending it. It means that I'm part of the group and I'm part of the book. Because again, you know, I don't know these people personally. Yeah. You know, it's an objective thing that I'm taking and I'm going, well, I connect with that. I read it. I'm not a Satanist. I'm not any label. Yeah. You know.
Can I ask you another question? Obviously, I've obviously witnessed what's gone on. I think we all witness it. So, how did you feel with the reaction to? How did you feel to the reaction to you putting that out there? You know, when you had to sort of. I wanted to say the word justify, but you didn't justify. But you had to kind of say, look, and I thought you did it well. By the way, you reacted, and you know there was comedy there, and
it gave me the opportunity, you know, because again, I understand. I knew, you know, that's why guys like Jed, or if that's what we're referencing, they know that people have this aversion to certain terminologies and words, so they'll use it against people. You know, and I felt was exactly what I explained to you. When people are in a place of no knowing and ignorance, they're going to feel scared or threatened or because a lot of people are still in a victim mind. You know, and this is what I've tried to put forward to people. You know, you're in control of you, but people are still in a victim mind because of the trauma, the fear of this world and what's went on it. They're clinging on to a saviour. People are clinging on to a saviour. So that saviour is always going to be a kind of a father-like, a mother-like, all-knowing, warm, comfort figure. Yeah. So because they're based on that, as soon as they hear the word Satan or Satanism, they automatically just think that must be real. There must be an opposite, but they don't get that they're creating the whole delusion in their mind because they're waiting for a saviour. You know, I mean, come on, people. You know, I'm 39, nearly 40-year-old. No, I went through that as a kid when I had the traumatic experience as a kid. Nobody was coming to save me. Nobody came and saved me. Yeah. So why would it be any different now? You know? Yeah. I had to empower me. I had to understand for me. Yeah.
But on that point there, what you just reminded me of there, because obviously when I speak to you, things come to my mind. You know, I was brought up in a kind of Catholic Protestant kind of environment with many aunties and uncles, some Orange Lodge, some Catholic, some Protestants, and the conflict that was like I was brought up in, it was like a war. People hating each other. I mean, we know about the troubles in Ireland in the 70s and all that kind of shit, and it was big in Liverpool. And I was brought up in that kind of conflict, if you like, and I hated it. You know, I've never turned to religion or anything like that. But what I will say is what's just come to my mind is the times that I've felt down and really, really down, and something says to you, you know, you're looking at that God thing, or that God thing flashes through your mind because it's been instilled in you, and something inside of me says, why would he help me when he wouldn't help the starving people? Haven't I got the right to help myself? Don't I have the right to completely own me?
Yeah.
In everything?
Yeah.
And I could never perceive why a God would come and make my life wonderful when I had 2 arms, 2 legs. You know, I was in reasonable good health. There was no problems. I had the ability to do things, and there was so much pain and suffering with people. Why would he come to me?
Yeah.
And that was a long, long time ago, but that shied me away from, you know, that led me into when I think you'd have to be in that place to understand what comes out of you. You'd have to go through some tough times to understand how do you react to that tough time. How do you react to that? And I reacted to that by feeling a bit ashamed with myself, thinking, hang on, mate, you've got the ability here to do this yourself. You don't need no.
Yeah.
And I think that led me into more self-empowerment and, you know, owning my responsibility of what happens to my life is my responsibility.
So, some people it can work for. You know, you heard me talking about sigils, right? If somebody has a level of belief that there is a God there and everything's cool, and they use that as a sigil in order to help them to go on with their life, then that's fine. You know,
I've got no problem with that.
People are free, but the problem is what you say. You know, if they're really trying to use it literally, you know, then you've got serious questions where you go, well, how come? You know, I've been seeing starving kids on my TV for the last fucking 35 years of my fucking life, but yet I have to sit here and make a wish to some invisible force for a new TV. You know, fuck off. Do you know what I mean? And they done the same with the whole new age. They just changed it to this. Make a wish to the universe, and the universe will give you a parking space. You know, get to fuck. That's just utter nonsense. You know, it's a psychological trick. You know, you need the duality. You need the God type and the baddie, because what that does is take responsibility away from you. Yeah. So you're either praying to some invisible force to help you, or you're blaming some invisible force for your own actions and your own flaws. You know, no, because when you're dealing purely with the truth, you know, I shouldn't have been involved in it. I'm just bringing the message. That's it. The truth stands without me, without you, without anybody. You know, the facts of reality are the facts. You know. I
mean, you just don't come across as an egotistical person. You've got no wallpaper on your shed wall. You know what I'm saying?
As soon as I come on with makeup now, like, start flexing on the camera. Then we'll get an issue.
So if we see the wallpaper and the makeup, we know you've sold out.
Well, it doesn't matter. You're seeing the effects of it anyway on people, because people in their preconceptions, you know, I'm big, I'm Scottish, I'm loud, I'm brash, I'm covered in tattoos, I've got a skinhead. You know, people are building up a whole image and processing based on their imagery of who they think I am. You know, and really they should just switch the TV off and listen.
Yeah.
Don't look.
Yeah. Listen,
because that's the important bit. Yeah. You know.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And if you're trying to drag how I look at it into it, then that's your shortcoming. That's my problem.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
You've went from representing the truth to subjective emotional nonsense.
Yeah.
You know.
Sure.
And it's all based on insecurities. Because if I feel as if I'm trying to attack your personality, I must have an insecurity about you. You know?
I'm seeing titles coming up underneath you there saying never judge a book by its cover. Simple.
Yeah, exactly.
We should all know them rules already. It alarms me, I will say this, how truth seekers bring the same old kind of attacks through with them to the point of attacking other truth seekers in the very nature of what you've just said by their appearance. I find that very bizarre.
And the power of that as well, when people are in awareness, it only takes one party to have an attack for people to then think that the two parties are part of this drama, because they've not got the logical sense to look through it and go, well, this party just put forth logical, non-personal things, but then this other party's coming in with the attack. So rather than going, well, that party's new should be removed from the equation, you know, you've lost credit there as far as the truth goes. They don't. It's all this emotional associations that just doesn't go anywhere, you know.
You lump it all in together then you end up putting fires out for 2 weeks trying to explain to people.
And I've seen it with some of the comments. Oh, I like both of their works, and you know, because you know, never mind. Don't bother liking me. You know, at the end of the day, there's a logical facts of how the communication broke down, and one party's not taking responsibility for that, and that's it.
Yeah.
End of story. You know.
Yeah.
You know, they can maybe get wee snippets.
Yeah.
But I don't feel as if I have to play them on an emotional. I'm not one to play people.
Yeah.
You know, to listen to me or whatever. I can only come purely with the truth and represent it as honestly as I can, and I hope that people latch onto that. That was the only reason I get involved.
Yeah.
You know, nobody was representing it properly. There was too much nonsense going on, and I stepped up to the plate. You know, and that's it. Yeah. It's not me an internet personality.
How difficult was that decision to step up?
Very. I mean, like, you know, I've always been, you know, people don't believe when you see it, you know, because I've got tattoos and stuff, you know, but I never had an ego. I could never understand what it was, you know. Even as a kid, I didn't want to be, you know, I loved when people recognised your efforts, not to praise you and laud you, just to know that people had recognition for each other, and I thrived on that.
Yeah.
See, as soon as somebody tried to place you in a pedestal and a place of thought, I got uncomfortable with it. I didn't like it.
Yeah.
I didn't like being in camera. I didn't like photographs.
Yeah.
None of that. So
yeah.
it was a toughie. And I'll be honest, you know, I done the first one and I done it with sarcasm because it helped me to deal with being on the camera. It helped with the nerves. So to make a joke of it and like, it's a character I can get into because I've always been a jokey, wind up, pressing buttons, sarcastic type guy. But you know, after that, you know, I got a lot of comfort because I was doing it with Marty, and I had somebody there to speak to and bounce off and then it helped because it was a truth that was important to me, and I knew I wanted to get that out there, so I had to go over my own insecurities and being camera and all these things. So it was a difficult thing, honestly.
No.
A difficult
People
thing.
don't realise that when you do as you say, they're looking at the tattoos, they're looking at the shaven head, they're looking at the big guy, they're looking at the Dorman image in Scotland, and people actually don't get that.
No, they think you're just a cocky. And the total opposite is true. You know what I mean? It's like but
totally.
Personality, because I was in about all the conspiracy stuff, but you know that was never me.
Vic,
you know?
Vic Button was looking for a lead guitarist. Vic Button.
Yeah, right.
So you've obviously turned that role down.
It's too high a level for
Bless his cotton socks.
I love that shit, man. See, people who just express themselves. There has to be standards and judging it. Fuck off. You know, as long as the person's happy and they're expressing themselves, I'm happy.
And it doesn't matter how many views he gets, it doesn't matter how many subscribers he gets, he puts them out and he's as happy as shit. And I go, nice one, Vic. He always puts a smile on my face, that man.
It's that same cycle, you know, what I just said a minute ago. You know, there's a difference between ego gratification and, you know, just, you know, people recognising your efforts and giving you, you know, recognition and, you know, that's brilliant, well done. I like that. And that gave me joy. So it's the same guys like that. It doesn't matter if you get 3 people viewing you. There's a cycle, there's a reciprocation happening where you're providing something, somebody likes it, and you get joy because somebody appreciates you, and that's enough. That's all we're all looking for.
And it goes back to what you were saying before about the bands, where you're getting the enjoyment out of the doing, not what you're getting from the doing in the way of, you know, ego massaging or pampering or anything. But at the same time, it is nice for people to say, you know what, I recognise that.
The thing about the band is you know, you want to progress with your music and it's fine. You go, well, I would like to go out and we can play some live gigs, because again, there's a reciprocity thing that happening where you're getting to do what you love. People are loving it, and there's this lovely cycle that's happening, you know. and that's fine. It's just when it gets to a point of thinking you're something, or as we pointed out, I want to make it, I want to get to the, be in the charts and be popular and be famous. That's fuck off. You'll get that natural if you're real. I speak about that before. Bands like Pink Floyd, and they were true to themselves.
Yeah.
They had an energy in their music.
Yeah.
They're expressing it because they loved what they were doing and they were tinkering and blah blah, and that expanded. They never set out to make it.
Yeah.
They just enjoyed what they were doing, and there was a natural order that came through that.
Right.
They might have ego problems into that, but the success came because they were pure and they were true to who they were. You know what I mean?
And that, I think, is the symptoms that we're feeling. You know what I'm saying?
Because we're no exploring.
No.
You get to a point where you can analyse things, and I was starting to analyse and go, right, even if I get that career or that wee bit of success and I get a bigger house and I can go on holiday and I can go, well, what really changes? Nothing. It's just like more extravagant distractions. There's nothing. That's why I keep feeling like, as you say, this whole thing about going to school, when you come back from holiday, you know it, you're going, this is not right.
That's it. That's when it starts kicking in.
When I was a kid and we went to East Germany, it was so relaxed. I was wandering for miles, swimming in lakes from the age of 5 to, and you come back here and it's like, oh, what is this? It's like a chore. So that says for me, the whole thing's to keep you still, to stop that exploration. So that's why I keep saying to people, there has to be something else out there. That natural instinct and want to keep exploring. The real adventure's probably undiscovered. The real adventure for me isn't within the pen that they've created.
Absolutely.
I'm totally disillusioned with that school, and there's this structure placed into you, and your youth and energy kind of takes you through it for so long. But then when you get to an adult, you're going, this. I'm not the rewards that I was promised on the here. What's happening? So for me, there is only, some people are lucky. They'll find something that they enjoy. They'll have success out of it. Their life's easy. They've never had to question any of these things, and that's fine. But unfortunately, that structure's not there for everybody. So for the majority of people, as I say, that depression and that thing is like a normal reaction to an abnormal situation. And the abnormal situation is the fucking world that we're living in. Do you know what I mean?
Do you know what I like? What I like in that too, what you just said, is when we are children and we go on holiday, or even as adults, but more so as children, I remember it. You go on holiday, you come back to reality, and you get that feeling of disappointment, and you've lost something, and that. Because on holiday you had the freedom, you had the adventure, everything you just spoke about, and I think that's what happens to us in adult life. Is we know there's an adventure, we know there's something, but we've been made to stay in this control system.
Then people aren't running about, because let's be honest, most people are held by their bills. Their electricity bill, their gas bill, their council tax, these are the chains that are binding them to that. But if you don't depend on these kind of things, that's it, it's game over. So talking about like the homeless people, especially for me, I've spoken to you about this before, and I became disillusioned as an apprentice mechanic, and all my effort, my artistic endeavour was just getting used, and I was getting a pittance back where I was still hungry. I had nowhere to stay. I was living in a car park. I was living in the garage. And you're going, what is this about? And I became disillusioned very quickly. When you start to ask, you look at other people and you go, is that what's happening with them? And because I value my time a lot more than having to fucking waste it working a dead-end job my whole life. Where's the room for creativity? Where's the support structure? Where's the basic foundations that we're requiring? It's that part of the whole globe thing. You know, that tying people into this concrete, this is what life is, this is what it means, you know, you live on a globe, you know, your life's mapped out, there's nothing for you to discover.
Yeah. The depression and the anxiety that people are feeling, I don't think it gets addressed enough, that area gets addressed enough, and I think that's where they're then manipulating the game.
Yeah, it's because, you know, for me, the depression kicked in, you know, when you become totally disillusioned, you know, you're going, you know, as I said to you earlier, you know, when I get that flat at time, you actually think about it, that's when the depression and everything started kicking in, because you're working through things and you realise your illusions and your delusions.
Yeah.
You know, you start to really go, what's happening? And for me, you know, that depression and that crash is probably in everybody, because at the end of the day, we're living a fake life.
Yeah.
We're living a lie.
Yeah.
You know, and it's all a contrivance that's not really natural. You know, I've said to people before, when you were a kid, and I look at my kids, their natural instinct is just to keep exploring, to keep progressing, to keep moving forward, and then you're stumped with that. You know, you go to that whole thing now. It's like,
Absolutely.
that's the whole problem. You know, the foundation should be there. You know, if we have to live here, you know, in societies and in these groups, you don't need to spend a whole lot of time logically thinking about it and go, right, we're beings, we're almost like animals, so let's sort out the fundamentals. Okay, where are we? Right, blah, right, what do we need? Right, we need the survival skill, we need the basics. You know, your education should be, how do you build a home? How do you sanitize? How do you grow your crops? You know, how do you waterproof? Real skills. You know, if that was the education system, the place would be thriving.
Absolutely.
You know, and it's not an education system. It's like, this is just the way it is. This is reality.
Yeah.
You know, and teaching you right away reality.
Yeah.
No fucking wee bit parts of information scattering your mind left, right, centre. You know, I've said that to people before. You know, you talk about your education system. If the plug was pulled on the deliveries of the trucks and people maintaining your home and blah blah blah, what are you going to do? Fucking nothing, because you need skills. You've not got the fundamentals.
Yeah.
So if we had that fundamental level,